This is Michelle Mahat.
Hello, Michelle. I'm with National Nurses United. I'm a registered nurse.
Today we are doing a workshop for Occupy Cleveland on how to keep warm in the coming winter and also signs and symptoms of hypothermia and frostbite. I will be heading up the keeping warm, talking about different clothes to wear, what to avoid, probably another thing she'll be talking about,
the warning signs, the things you need to pay attention to, and when you should get help, and just some general tips about safety in the cold weather.
Okay, so I actually spent yesterday talking to a good friend of mine who is a avid backpacker in all kinds of weather, and I had some questions to ask him because I want to know exactly what kind of stuff we should, I know a lot of people are looking for clothes, donations, and I was trying to find out what would be best to get for us. And one of the things he mentioned was cotton is a big no-no. The reason why is cotton gets wet very fast and it stays wet. It takes a very long time for cotton to dry out, and you do not want to be out in this weather, especially as it gets colder and you get snow. You do not want to be out when it gets so cold that you're sweating. Your feet will freeze inside of your socks because if you use cotton, any kind of cotton type of clothing is going to be actually going to be worse for keeping you warm. As you get colder, you're going to layer up. So once you start layering up, you probably will end up sweating some in the clothing you have, and you want to make sure that you're getting clothes that are not going to hold the sweat. Actually, I posted up that I've heard about cotton and wool. It turns out the wool is something that's useful. It does help with the wetness. But different things. You want to layer the clothes when it comes to winter. The one area you don't want to layer is your feet. Don't try to layer up on socks because you're going to cut off circulation in your feet if you have like 2 pairs of socks. One pair is always going to you'll be sweating, and one pair is going to hold that sweat in. Wool is good, especially if you're wearing tennis shoes. Also, I would suggest when you use socks, cornstarch in them or on your feet, it will actually help stave off or hold off the perspiration. It'll actually catch it and keep your feet drier than if you just go without. As far as clothes, you do want to layer. You want a thermal layer, which will be against your skin. You want an insulating layer, and then you want a shell layer, an outer layer. Thermals are a pretty good deal. You don't want cotton ones again, but you want something that's lightweight because lighter weight will actually pull the perspiration off the body and actually help you stay it'll keep the dampness off and it actually dries faster. So you don't want to get too heavy thermals. Your insulating layer, you can use fleece as an insulating layer, but you do not want fleece as an outer layer because it will move the air around you. But if you put it underneath, it actually will help keep you warm. And then for like coats, you want something like down polyester. It does a better job at keeping out the cold. Also, if your down jacket gets wet, just put it in a dryer. Don't let it just hang because the down will actually form into something that forms into little balls, into clumps. And if you just let it dry, it will dry that way. If you put it in a dryer, it actually fluffs out the feathers or the down. Different things. For headgear, I'm saying balaclavas, which is kind of like a full, not just a hat, but actually comes down across your face and actually tucks in around the neck. So it's something that a lot of ski people use to try to keep their faces protected, keep them warm. and it's a lot better than scarves, it says, which scarves has too much of a chance of actually coming loose and falling off. Gloves should have an outer shell or be protective against the wind. So you want windproof as well as waterproof type, but you want to be careful as far as waterproof. You don't want to use like the sorry, still trying to put all my thoughts together on it. The ponchos, especially the heavier ones, because the heavier plastic ones, because they're going to hold in your sweat. You'll sweat more in them. Also, it's better during the winter months. I know a lot of people here do use tennis shoes right now. I would think that it'd be a very good idea to start moving away from tennis shoes and finding ways to get boots. It'll be better for your feet. Tennis shoes will. You don't want to be walking around in any kind of snow in tennis shoes. And seeing as this info tent is in a public area, and it may not get a lot of work done as far as getting shoveled up unless people around Occupy Cleveland actually decide to have like a shovel or two here, so that when it does get snowy, that we actually have some people who are willing to shovel the area so people don't have to walk through as much. But of course, if we get storms coming through, people aren't going to be out shoveling in it. So there's also been a couple of different sites. Fire Dog Lake has started something called Occupy Supply. It's like Occupy Supply Gear, and basically they have been getting money together. They have raised upwards of, I think, $80,000, and they have actually gotten a lot of supplies, winter gear, and sent it off to about 50 plus different occupations. I know that we have somebody, I got an email from them, I posted it to the group, and I believe Mary Jane was going to be the point person on getting more information from them, letting them know where we are, what we need. So if people are looking for clothing stuff to donate during this time of year, fleeces for inner, but we need like down jackets, polyesters, anything that's going to help protect us, especially once it gets colder. And I think that's about all I have right now.